trouble. An Invis rune from Jarex. This has not been scouted. They do know it was the actual rune down bottom, so Sumail probably being told, like, watch out for the haste, the Invis, some kind of high impact
Courier
rune.
snipe. Zai, is he going to get there in time? The Courier turns for a split second. It's got the bottle on it. Zai able to take it. Jirak coming behind it, and then on the bottom lane as well. The top lane clockwork is the first blood. And EG will claim not only a Courier snipe, but you also lose the clockwork.
What a start for EG. Always, you feel like as a DK mid and you go for that bottle rush, you have to bottle crow. Like you're against a range hero, you're being constantly harassed. Your way to CS is through the breathe fire spam. So you're like, all right, I've got a bottle crow. That's what DK does in mid lane. But losing your bottle because of how reliant you are about it can absolutely cripple you. And now this is going to be a pretty big period of time where Honor does not have the bottle at mid.
And they are going to, censor what was just put on the screen. Sumail, got to be careful right now. His breathe fire's on up with the Fade Bolt, just had level 4. So the leap away on low life. Zai turns, going to get the stun into Ana, combining up with the arrow. That's a big stun. Sumail has level 2 Starfall. It should be enough damage, or will it? Ana, back to the tower. They missed up as well. And Sumail, now Jirak picks him up. Fade Bolt survival is only level 1. The damage is enough with the bounce out. Jirak playing it perfectly, and EG, well, the luck was there to get some early first bloods, but they just kept missing.
I want to say they had both heroes miss uphill there. That's what it looked like, at least. Perhaps there was the damage block from the high armor and the stout shield on one of them, but that was some very fortunate stuff for Honor, not going down there and turning it around with Rubik picking up the kill.
He needed something like that. Like, the Courier is going to be back up in 1 minute, so he'll have his bottle back at that point. But this has given him, like, room to breathe.
Absolutely, and for OG, you're kind of happy with all this like chaotic stuff happening in mid and top lane if the no-tail Naga is being ignored, and that's been the case so far, and that is about to change.
Yeah, the smoke maneuver is SD as well as Lashrak coming in. No-tail's got no mana. Like, his PMS will not protect him from this. Jirax, he's got enough mana for at least one telekinesis or Fade Bolt, and he's gonna have to make the choice. There's already Disruption, Catcher, Universe. Oh, he misses the stun! He didn't hit No-Tail at the right time, and the split hook misses! EG, a couple of things go wrong, and OG, there's a get out jail free card.
Thanks. That's first game of the day, still waking up. That was one of the snippets I heard from them going in to play the first match of the day yesterday. They're like, man, we play at like 60% when we're playing. They said like everyone plays at 60% of full potential in that first game of the day.
Well, we better make sure this whole series goes to 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. These games are just going to get better game by game as the teams fully wake up, but you can't be making those kind of mistakes sometimes. It could be very costly if No-Tail stays alive. Doesn't even take damage, so it's not even like they send him back to base. He's still sitting down here, able to farm with his illusion, potentially even his hero once he feels it's safe that the supports are gone. This is an off-lane farming Naga Siren.
This is very problematic when you're able to get that early level 6 EG's initiation and that aggressive maneuver you're looking for with the SD and Lashrak. It may just not come to fruition. Mid lane, Jirax, there's your pick up over on Mirana, dragging it back with a Dragon Tail stun. The leap, he doesn't even get up the hill. Jirax able to Fade Bolt him down. So OG now is Jirak. You got to respect his rotations.
That's Jirax in a nutshell. He is the best ganking full position support out there, hands down. He makes these plays happen. He does on heroes that you can kind of roam and gank on Rubik, but you don't expect to be able to gank a mid Mirana. This is not like a 2-hero combo that you normally expect to find that kill, but the DK Rubik bring her down for a second time now, and Sumail is going to be perhaps getting a bit tilted almost after the 2 ganks coming his way, especially with those uphill misses earlier. This early game, to me, favoring OG a bit. Nyx is top of the CS. The CS-wise, it's not amazing for OG. It's just the fact they're getting away with the Naga farming in the off lane. The DK mid, his lane's been salvaged despite the bottle snipe. And if anything, that courier snipe is what's given EG what they need out of this earlier game.
Should flag to the fact like Arteezy bailed off that top lane. There was a small moment where S4 almost came in range to lock him inside Cogs with a level 3 battery assault. And I think Arturo probably realized he's completely alone on that top just because they rotated down the SD as well as Lesh earlier on. So Illuminate going to go to work. Universe by Carapace returns as the Keeper of the Light. But this is the same combination we saw from OG yesterday. Having both the high level up in Fade Bolt as well as Illuminate, the creep waves don't stand a chance. They get melted so quickly, and without that Chen pickup that the panel as well as yourself was looking for, EG don't have that early sustained push.
They have got Universe up to 6, so perhaps the plan is going to be try and snipe some of those annoying backline supports, the Coddle, the Rubik. If you can get a pick off using the Vendetta. Jirax, he's seen him though with the Dire Ward, so he has pretty good intel as far as what's going on here. There's even the Sentry Ward down between the towers and the TP in from Clock. They're possibly looking for that kill on Universe.
There's a level 6 up on S4.
They're hoping that he would just Vendetta in and try and counter-initiate using the Clockwork Hook, and Universe still may go for that play.
It's Storm coming back up. S4 potentially could have blind hooked that small little path. Now the Sentry's there. Jirax, well, it starts off with a disruption on Universe, in fact, not on Jirax.
That's the 60%. Everyone missing their spells. Crit, he disrupted Universe. He was trying to aggressively disrupt. Universe was also probably going for the Vendetta initiation. Then you missed the hook shot into the ST Illusions. Everything missing, Toby. This is not the crisp play you'd normally expect from these teams, but it's such a high-pressure game, so tense here. These teams probably thinking this is almost in some way a final.
Nice stun in the middle. This stun's going to connect Sumail as well. The Starfall's there. One charge just can't get off in time. Jirax started his TP, but also TP to the backside of the tower, so couldn't instantly get that telekinesis off. But you are right. There's a couple of things going a little bit wrong, but there's so much pressure. Like OG, everyone expected them to perform really well at TI. Didn't really go that way for them. Now, they are known as the major champions 2 times over. So there's a lot of pressure on them to perform well in EG. The story of this whole Boston Major is them getting better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we see these teams go for kind of safe strats in that game 1, just trying to test the waters. I mean, for OG, it's one of those things where you can mis-execute a gank like that, or they were trying to bait the Nyx into the Sentry, and yeah, they mess it up and should have gotten that kill, but they've still got their overall strategy and game plan working. The Naga is farming, has the Arcane Boots, has the max out mirror images, can farm the jungle, can farm the lanes. There hasn't been any real pressure onto Notel, nor does it look like there'll be pressure directly on him. More likely you see pressure towards towers. EG want to take objectives, use smokes, use the Nyx to go rotate around and find kills. They're much more concerned about gaining control of the map rather than ganking Notel 5-10 times.
Well, speaking of those smokes, we do have this maneuver from EG through the Dire jungle. Notel knows he's actually already backing up. This is around that time when you expect the Radiant side to look to that Dire safe lane tower to bring it down. So Notel's positioning is already perfect just to delay the lane out.
Yep, and he's farming. He's got his illusions in the jungle, so he just sends those out. He's not getting absolutely nothing while he's tucked away here, but he will poke his nose out soon, which could get scouted by the Radiant Observer Ward.
It's a very interesting time to actually bring a Luna on a rotation. Normally, like, we've seen a lot of Lunas throughout this series, throughout this competition, and especially with OG. Oh, they just Sentry Ward, Universe, he's visible. The Dragon Form gives him the range stun. Now hook shot forward. S4's going to hold him there with the cogs. Arrows coming in. Universe gets his stun off, but it's already too late. Clockwork will take the kill with the battery assault. And EG wastes a lot of time with 3 big heroes to gain nothing and, in fact, lose.
That's the big thing you mentioned, like with Luna not farming and going with the team for those smoke rotations, you really are looking to use the Eclipse. Find the level 4 Lucent Beam Eclipse to kill off a core hero, be it the Naga, the Dragon Knight, or even kill multiple heroes and then transition into a tower off of that. But EG getting jumped on because there's the Sentry Ward there means they're not getting a kill, they're not getting a tower to follow it up. And it is wasted time. It's time where Arteezy could have been farming. That's a bit of a concern for him. He is, well, not too far behind the Naga Siren, but that's going to get worse when the Naga has Radiance. What is good for EG is how farmed Sumail is. Sumail's, despite the 2 deaths, well on top of the net worth chart.
As long as he can get to that Aghanim Scepter timing. It's the downside about having the Naga. She's got to hold on to a decent amount of money for now. But this will be a nice injection. The tier 1 tower will fall. It's a level 3 Edict. Naga Illusions don't really do a lot. And Notel's not looking to fight anyway. He's going for a 4-0-4 build. If you're thinking of even engaging early on, you want to have 1 point up in Song of the Siren. Fly and Jiros can keep the creep wave at bay, but that's an easy tier 1 tower for EG.
Yeah, but now this game's kind of at a tempo that's EG set, but it's still like feeling all right for OG. Perhaps they're not too pleased with the overall outcome of the mid lane with Honor kind of going down the one time, losing his bottle. He's not farming all too well, but DK's not a hero you need to be doing big things on. We saw it with LFY, with Super, when he played these Dragon Knight games. As long as you get your basic core items, you get your Trez, your Wand, you get a BKB later, you get a Shadow, some kind of initiation item, the Shadow Blade or the Blink, you're going to be okay to do your role as a Dragon Knight. You can set up a fight, you can go in, and then the Clockwork follows you up. So just having one of those 2 tools and having enough farm as a DK is all you really need.
Oh, Universe. Expect him to be rotating around with that Vendetta not happening. Crit is actually looking up, calling out the stacks. It's not going to be too long before OG want to look to farm this, but for now, OG, defense of their T1 tower on bottom lane. They are going to trigger off the fortification. And then a Moonlight Shadow. Who are they looking for? It's actually to get on the top lane, Arteezy out there. But S4 hit the blind hook shot. He had a small bit of time to see him. But the Illuminate, the Sentry Ward, it does the work. And the Luna will fall.
Yeah, that's a great pickoff for OG when you're killing one of the key heroes of EG. Taking Arteezy down, they take a bit of damage on this bottom tier 1, but even that's being well defended. And looking for an initiation on Zai. If they can find him in the tree lines, Anna's going to make his way down. Jirax having that pulse node will give the extra damage, but now, well, they actually have Anna stuck in the tree line. Dire Creep Waves moving in, Universe under the cover of Vendetta, also in the neighborhood, but they drop a sentry, what they see, and straight away, OG! I don't know if they realize that Universe with the Spike Carabas might buy himself a little bit of space, but not enough to survive. S4's Cogs will keep Samel out this fight as well. And OG's sentry wards have been right on the money. They've been game winning. It's ridiculous how they've caught the Nyx Assassin. It's not like they're buying, they're over investing in sentries and they're all across the map. They're just in the right place at the right time, catching Universe above that bottom rune earlier, catching him now at the bottom lane. They should have caught him between the T1 and T2 tower. They've read Universe's rotations perfectly this game. That is some impressive support play from between Fly and Jerax, making those calls, and S4 hitting some really nice hooks onto that Nyx Assassin on a couple different occasions.
You still have the tower advantage going the way of EG. We expect this kind of stuff when you're running, maybe not the Lunar as much, but at least when you're running the track for the early pressure. Jirax out a long way, S4, the Observer Ward. He saw SD just moving in, and Crit, well, he is most definitely dead up on that top lane.
Nice little up spot because it's out of sentry range from that Cliff Ward, which is so common and popular. Does give OG another kill going their way. This game is really feeling very OG favored right now, just based on the continuous kills we're seeing out of S4's Clockwork. Farm-wise, it's not a disaster for EG. It's even on net worth, but it's still an underfarmed Luna. This is not EG hitting their stride. They were hoping to be able to take towers, take objectives, use this level 4 Edict of Leshrac. They picked this hero to have a pushing lineup, and while Leshrac has been in the right place to kind of go for some towers from time to time, it never really has come together where EG is a 5-man unit, have everything they need.
Well, they keep losing their cores before the Leshrac can push. Like, Universe goes down, you're losing so much control through his stuns, through even just the fear of a Nyx Assassin running on the map. You're meant to, like, OG is meant to be fearing the rotations of the Nyx Assassin, but because they keep seeing him, because these supports have picked up so much money, they got so much money to spend on these utility items like Sentry Wards, that they're just checking every time where Universe is moving. And underneath the Obs and the Sentry on bottom, it's actually more trouble for Artur. S4! A big wide hook, a secondary Sentry will be dropped. Arteezy with that Purge creep. Actually slowing down Jirax for the moment. It's got another charge with a loser beam. Jirax in trouble. There goes your first disruption out from Crit. Jirax gets stunned up, hit by the Vendetta, copping a fair chunk of damage and will die.
Yeah, OG just looked to cut their losses there. Imagine it was like, look, we've got this relic coming. Let's not lose a big team fight here. We can take a one-man casualty in the Rubik, but we don't have to lose too much more. If anything, they're probably concerned about a tower push coming now with EG all grouped up towards this bottom lane. Got 4 heroes down here. They don't have Sumail on the Mirana, who's very close to an Aghanim Scepter. He's the player they're kind of looking to kind of transition into that mid to late game as the big carry here with Arteezy struggling and be able to fight those Naga illusions.
Yeah, the Naga illusions is where my mind's going for the double Starfall. If Sumail can clear this out, then No Tail's damage in the fight is obviously going to be drastically less. Yep. But then you look towards the DK. Anna, he's finally getting closer towards that armlet. He's behind the Luna in net worth, so it hasn't been the greatest DK game after his bottle got sniped. But the game of catch-up is always going to be better for OG, just because you're running a Naga and Keeper of the Light. Your global control is so good that it's more like EG is on the clock to try and win this.
Oh, absolutely. The longer this goes, as much as Mirana can clear out waves and pseudo deal with Naga illusion, it's still, Naga still is going to come out on top there over time. The illusions will split across 3 lanes. Mirana cannot be in all 3 lanes at once. Naga illusions will just get tankier over time once you get more and more items. The Octarine with the Manta with a potential Heart of Taras, that's where the illusions have too much HP to even burst them down. For OG, you make sure you have to farm elsewhere. The Dragon Knight of Honor has an Ancient stack, which he can farm a bit later on once he hits level 11. So for OG, I think I look towards them getting more farm and Honor, because everything's going fine for the Naga. They want to make sure they have diversity with their damage output and with other heroes able to contribute, because EG are playing for the long game. They picked up the Midas on Universe's Nyx Assassin. They've got the Helmet of the Dominator Arteezy. He's farming Ancient stacks himself. Sumail's got the Aghanim Scepter. He's looking for the late game, of course. So even though there's a Naga on OG, the late game is kind of what EG have kind of recognized as where they're heading. And
Universe, how do you stay alive? Sit underneath your own sentry board. That way you know they don't have vision of you.
there's a Radiance though, and I think they decide, let's not fight this Radiance song.
DK actually triggers his Dragon Form with the extra sentry planted and the Obs Ward. That sentry is just out of range of the Radiant sentry. Arrow will fly between the middle of OG. The Observer Ward will be taken out. Universe. Oh, the Spike Camera's the hook shot! S4's in. Disruption came from Crit, but it didn't do enough in time. S4 does get stunned up, but no tell. Resets up the fight with the Song of the Siren. Zai's just out of range of it, and that allows Ana to pick him up without turning off the Song of the Siren. Now Sumail into the tree, picked up by Jirax, thrown back into the middle of the OG sandwich, and 4 heroes down for EG. A tier 1 tower to boot, and OG, they look in great control of this game at the moment.
Yep. First thing Notel does with his Radiance is tell his team, let's go fight, let's go together, let's contest those Ancients and take a team fight. They kept the initial pick off. S4's clockwork has been impressive to say the least. He has found initiation after initiation, and that sleep micro from Notel, he slept everyone but then moved his hero a bit further away so that the DK could finish off the Leshrac. Some really nice positioning from him. Everything being played out just perfectly by OG in that team fight, and they get themselves the tower. They get a huge chunk of gold going their way. Notel pulls well ahead in overall farm. And Dragon Knight even looking a lot more competitive with the Luna and Mirana having stayed alive throughout that one as well.
EG's grouping up, 5-man smoke. They will move from their tier 2 tower. They were out of range of any of OG's vision, but is this a slip into Roshan? Will OG know about this? Or are they coming for the kills? The Radiant, they scan, they understand that OG is near the Ancients. Fly, well, he might be the sacrificial lamb for OG. A 5-man smoke maneuver. If they take the Ancients as well, it's worth it for EG.
Yeah, they feel confident knowing that the sleep is on cooldown.
Wait. That's a Vendetta Rubik with a Blink Dagger. Jirax is sitting next to the Ancients with a fresh Blink Dagger.
There's no sentries. There's no sentries to scan him out.
Well, where's your money anyway? You can't have sentries if you got no money on your supports. The stack is still not taken. Anna's coming in with his Dragon Form available. Jirax gets hit. Now the Blink forward, picking up Arteezy, drags him back. The Ensnare will hold Artur in the middle of the river. That's a little bit too far to go, and OG will say thank you. You did a little bit of work for us. They'll finish up the Ancient stack.
Yeah, they'll get zoned by the Radiant Illusions. All it's going to take is like a bit of Radiance damage and a Riptide to get everyone on EG down to half HP. And yep, that'll get OG the Ancients. It was a Keeper of the Light going down, but that was an EG maneuver that was looking for a bigger kill. That was looking to actually take those Ancients. They didn't find the Naga or DK. They didn't get to steal the Ancients.
Oh, and all the wards that EG just put down will be lost. No tell. They found both of the Observer Wards that EG placed with the smoke maneuver. So now EG, they're pretty much blind on the map. S4 gets a hook shot down the bottom lane, actually soloing Arteezy's Luna.
Dang, that is not a good sign when your Luna's getting solo killed by a Clockwork.
Well, what are you meant to do? Like, he's got Blade Melee. You want to turn your ulti on that? That's not going to happen, but we'll have a quick look at that one. So this is S4. This is just what we missed then. He's looking. Someone has to be somewhere around here. Oh, look at that. Free gold. Free gold on the Panther.
Didn't even have to hook shot initially. Wow, he almost missed that hook shot. That was just barely clipping the side. Arteezy trying to make some nice plays to juke it there, but
it's the style
well
points.
Landed.
You grab it by the tail.
Yeah. Tough game for Arteezy. He's now 0-2. His net worth is just not where you'd expect it to be for an Ancient stacking Luna, and S4's got another hook in 18 seconds.
Man, at this rate, he's going to have his Aghanim Scepter, and then like you won't even care about the cooldown of hook. Prep work from OG on the top lane. It's again, they're putting a lot of farm and space into this Rubik. They know he can survive almost anything EG throw at him. Especially when Notel's just in the neighborhood.
That's just, Notel's always there to bail out OG if catch them by surprise or go for another smoke play. They do have one in a does feel like they can't just sit back and play the farm game. OG have too much map control now. They've got nice vision around this Radiant Ancients. It's hard for Arteezy to go back to stacking this and maintain control. Meanwhile, OG have full control of their side of the map. There is, unless EG go for another big smoke, those Dire Ancients are fully in OG's hands.
But how is EG meant to fight when they don't have the items needed to fight? Like, the Aghanim Scepter is the only critical item that EG has managed to gather in. Like, you're running a hand of Midas for the Nyx Assassin, maybe he gets an Aghanim Scepter in defense, but you need the Yule Scepter over on the Leshrac. This is kind of critical for Lesh to get these proper setups, unless you want to rely on Crit, but Crit can't stand the front lines long enough. He doesn't have enough survivability, and you're still short the Manta on Arteezy.
I think more so than the Yules is even the Universe Blink Dagger. He's going to be the key initiator as far as the upcoming fights go, where he can blink in, start things off with Impale, set it up for the Leshrac to not have to go for Yules. If anything, yeah, Zaya looks like he may be considering a 4-star. And the other big item is Luna's BKB, I want to say. This is one of those games where the fights are coming to you soon. You don't go for a BKB. Fighting into the DK stun, the Blinding Light, Rubik, Clockwork, these are all heroes that demand a BKB. So we may just have to see the Luna go for one very, very early on.
Zaya's going to try and snipe out this bottom tower. It's been so long, the fortification's already back off cooldown, and hook shot! The rocket from S4 gave him the perfect position at the tree line, not to mention the Leshrac walking into that position in front of the tier 1 tower. So that was just an easy kill, but forces rotation from OG. They were technically already doing it, however. They took the tier 2 tower and already started half of the TPs to bot lane.
Something some people may forget about the old alliance days with S4 is he used to play a lot of mid Clockwork. He was one of the few mid players out there who would play this mid, max the battery assault first, and just go around ganking and killing everyone. Similar to how we play like a mid bat rider, and he is showcasing his prowess on the Clockwork here again and again. He's so tanky now, 1500 HP with a Blade Mail and Hood. Killing him when he initiates is normally you think Clockwork, he initiates in, he sets up a fight, he dies, and his team clean up. But no, this is a Clockwork, he's getting the kills and surviving because of how well he's done and how farmed he's gotten. He's almost up there with the Luna in farm. Well, no, you're not quite, but the fact he's as close as he is with the Luna is still ridiculous in itself.
I'm not for this maneuver that's coming out from Jirax and Fly. Like, it's so smart. They split their sentry wards, so each of them has one, and with a smoke maneuver, they were hunting the Nyx. Smoke breaks, drop a sentry ward, and then you can easily just blink into telekinesis.
See if they look to set this top lane. They have got, the recall coming. S4's now here at the top lane looking for a hook shot.
Well, with the rocket, they see him, and Crit caught in the tree line. S4 success rate rather high. And Crit will die to the Clockwork. Even with disruption, it just bought him a little bit of time, but the result was inevitable.
Yeah, there's one player who hasn't needed any waking up. It is still S4, and OG have got a gem now on the Naga Siren. One of the really nice things you can do, just buy a gem for her. She can then send the illusions out. It's very easy to find the Nyx and shut down his game. Universe's ability to roam around the map is pretty much taken out. I mean, it's been taken out this entire game. It's not like it's just happening now with this gem. Even before this, with the Centaurs alone, OG were always ready for Universe's Nyx, and that's going to get even more and more difficult. This is where it's almost demanded that he has to get a blink, because he has no way to initiate with all the detection. He's just going to have to initiate the old-fashioned way, which is just blink in with Impale, not use the Vendetta for initiation, but use it maybe for a bit of extra damage. Not a spell you can rely on anymore.
This is a little disgusting. Rubik stole Disruption from the SD, so combining it up with a fresh Mana Style on No-Tail, they just forced in all the lanes, bring EG back to base. No-Tail like BT to the bottom lane, then Fly just recalls him straight back into the mid, and OG continue this assault.
Strategically, OG can deal with almost anything EG throws at them, because of often you go for the 5-man push. The answer is to go push a side lane, split push with Sumail, but like you just said, you've got the ways to deal with it. EG's their biggest and best way back into this game is going to be going for a big team fight. Very difficult to do against the sleep, but they've got to find some way to smoke up, catch OG by surprise. Arteezy saving up 3.4k gold, and I am looking at that BKB as the timing for when they want to make that smoke. Roche is still standing, something that OG don't really want to go for, and they don't take too well. They're just fine without it, and their lineup, if anything, slows down if they waste time to go for Roche, but EG need to find a way to get their lanes pushed out and go for that smoke.
Yep. Difficult. Very, very difficult. Find a way, maybe they can show us the way, because right now there isn't really a visible one. Arteezy's banking on a lot of money. The only way they could really do it is if they could defend this OG attack. At Ana, The dragon form, you just jump up onto the hill, the tick begins, with the Naga illusions all out. Every lane is being pressured, so EG can't mount like a straight 5-on-5 defense line.
Yeah, for EG, it's pretty much defend the high ground now, which is not a position you want to be in when you're versing a Naga Siren, because that's not defending one lane, that's defending all three.
Maybe now they can fight. The BKB is on the Luna.
Yeah,
so you kind of have to come out. But the second you try and come out, OG will know. They'll see inside your base. Even if there's not an observable, there'll be an illusion.
OG get too much map vision is the problem now with the illusions pushing all three lanes. No tells. Micro is pretty much sit in mid lane, make illusions, send one top, send one bottom, send one mid, and his hero never even pushes forward. It's just the illusions.
Okay, this is actually hilarious. So right now, Jirax is making copies of the illusions of Naga that have been sent out by Crit, who made copies of the first copy that Jirax sent into the base. So it's literally copies of copies of copies. There's got to be some level of
it's too early in the morning.
I
have no idea what you just said. Come on, speaking.
Wake up, gods! Wake up!
Oh boy, it's a tough game for EG. That goes without saying. They've got some good AoE heroes in the Mirana, the Leshrac, so they can theoretically push out lanes. The problem is you're always split up, and that's where the Clockwork pulls this draft together.
This is the opening. This is the opening. It's Arteezy retreating out. S4, hook shot over. Remember, Arteezy has that BKB. Is he going to trigger it to try and fight this with the ensnare? He triggers the BKB, but so late. The Song of the Siren comes out. The Eclipse, the damage just is nowhere near enough. It's actually isolated him. He was the only one immune from the Song of the Siren. Now everyone's on the run. At least they want to run, but they're being denied even that privilege. The SD was caught on the retreat. And OG, they finally got what they wanted. Arteezy just slipped out a little bit too far to farm up the wave. OG pounced. And EG, it almost looked they weren't sure if they actually wanted to fight that.
Yeah, they decided, I mean, Luna had no buyback.
Oh, Anna, blink, stun, crit, goodbye. 45 seconds on the sideline. Samel jumps in, maybe with a stun, but no Clockwork! It's a huge cog, and they just called GG well played. It was a slow bleed of the blue. And green is reigning supreme. OG take game one against Evil Geniuses.
Dang, this OG rocked up to play some Dota. That was some really impressive early game rotations from Jirax, turning into S4 taking over the mid lane, the mid game with Clockwork, and then come late game, it's the Naga Siren show. No tell, his performance on this hero, one of the most reliable Nagas out there. This guy always finds a way to get his farm, always hits his right item timings, and